All right, and let's get started today. We have more of Airis, which is a wonderful game. I am falling in love with it every second. Let's go ahead and load up our save. And right off the bat, we have a decision to make. So, how should I respond to Kylan's remark? I don't mind trying new things. Maybe I'm a masochist who has a death wish, or I have nothing to lose. Let's try I have nothing to lose. Interesting. The way Kylan is peering at me with those piercing eyes makes me feel uneasy. I almost fear that he could read my mind, even though I know it's impossible. Not even Lyle, with their advanced magic, could do that. Very well, then. I'll help. But first, you'll have to tell me everything you can about your problem. Your symptoms, when it began, what you think triggered it, everything you can think of. Remembering Lyle's warning, I can't help but hesitate. As though sensing my train of thoughts, Kylan clicks his tongue. If you want me to help, you have to trust me. Trust him? Easier said than done. Can't you just give me your potion? You said you have one that might work, right? I don't have it anymore. But before you slap me for deceiving you and run off in anger, I should mention that I have written down how to make the potion, so I can recreate it, as long as I have the ingredients, which I don't. So I'll need to go to the Mines of Mischief to grab the ingredients I need for the mixture. I can do that. What do you need? No, I'll need to go in person with you. I have specific methods of extracting the ingredients I need. Narrowing my eyes at him, I give in with a sigh. Fine. I'll see if my friends can come along. Perhaps my animal companion as well. We could use the extra firepower. Kylan looks like he wants to argue, but I continue cheerfully, ignoring the way Kylan's lips have thinned in disapproval. If you want me to trust you, you'll have to trust me on this. Throw it in his face, Aliya. Throw it in his face. Do we have a deal? Kylan's expression doesn't change as he thinks over my offer, but eventually he breaks out into an easy grin so genuine that one would find it hard to believe he was against the idea of forming a party just a few minutes ago. Deal. Now tell me everything you know. For the first time in days, I feel the faint stirrings of hope deep inside, and despite my distrust towards Kylan still, I find myself sincerely thanking him. To my surprise, Kylan's face clouds over instead, and even as he recovers quickly with a smile, the shadows continue to lurk in his eyes. Sorry, had to turn on a light. Once again, the doubts begin to resurface in my mind. Did I make the right decision when I chose to trust him? Are you certain about this, Aliya? Can we trust that stranger? Avoiding Lyle's eyes and focusing on polishing the sword in my hand, I can only manage a shrug. We don't have a choice. Yes, we do. It's not necessary to... I'm not going to just sit here and wait for whatever this is to pass, Lyle. I'm not going to spend more sleepless nights worrying about waking up somewhere I don't remember going or being unable to recall the events of the previous day. And you're sure this suspicious person can give us a cure? I'm not, but at least we're doing something. I exhale loudly, turning away from Lyle. You don't have to come along with me, you know. I know you disagree with my choice. The silence drags on as I switch to stroking Teddy's head, who had dozed off with her head in my lap. Finally, Lyle speaks with a long sigh. You're right. I don't agree with your decision, but I'm not going to let you go into that dungeon alone with him. I don't trust him. Rolling my eyes at their overprotectiveness, I flash Lyle a small smile. I'd be fine. I have Teddy with me. But still, I'm glad you're coming. Lyle doesn't respond, just giving a non-committal hum. Hey, sorry I'm late. Wow. Okay, need some editing on this. Sorry I'm late, aren't I? I had to go pick up my repaired armor from the blacksmith. Both of our heads snap up in unison as see Iveria sliding into a seat at our table, casually swiping Lyle's drink and taking a sip. Iveria, thanks for coming. Nah, thanks for inviting me along. The two of you could probably have handled this quest easily, so it's kind of you to let me tag along and split the reward. It's going to be so much fun. Iveria beams in excitement, but I lift up my hand to stop her from continuing to speak. Wait, Iveria, didn't I tell you that it's not really a quest, so there's no money reward involved? I could have sworn I did. We're just helping a friend of mine get the materials he needs from the Mines of Mischief for a potion he's working on. Iveria's smile freezes for a brief moment, but then she chuckles with a wink. No, you're right. My mistake. I mixed this up with another invitation from another friend next week. Of course I'm down for this even without a reward. It'd be awesome to have an opportunity to compete with you again. Just so you know, Aliya, I'm going to kill the most creatures again this time, so you can stop hoping that you'll win for once. Shaking my head with a low laugh at Iveria's occasional forgetfulness and spirited nature, I stick my tongue out at her. I don't remember agreeing to a competition, but we'll see. Ready to go? At the familiar interrupting voice, we all look up to see Kylan approaching us with long, eager strides. He had a strange bag hanging over his shoulder and a pouch hanging from his belt, half hidden by his coat. Yes. Kylan, these are my friends. On the left is Lyle. They're an experienced mage who will double as our healer. To the right is Iveria. She's the best warrior in the guild. Lyle, Iveria, this is Kylan, the one I told you about. Ah, so these are the infamous Lyle and Iveria. I've heard many things about you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Kylan reaches out to shake Iveria's hand and then Lyle. The moment of awkward hesitation before Lyle takes Kylan's hand with reluctance doesn't escape Iveria's notice, but I pretend not to see her questioning look. This is a good party. I will try my best not to slow the three of you down with my rusty skills. Lyle makes a small sound of displeasure in the back of their throat, and I nudge them in the side as warning before turning back to Kylan. It's fine. The Mines of Mischief isn't difficult to clear anyway. Perfect. Are you ready to get going? I slide Lyle a questioning look, who scowls and gives a small jerk of their head that I take as agreement. Yes, lead the way. Our footsteps slow to a halt in front of the entrance to the dungeon, and Kylan steps forward, throwing his arms up in the air. This is it! We're here! Ho 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 ho! I haven't been here in so long, yet nothing has changed. Kylan continues to look around, an almost childlike expression of excitement written all over his face. Some of my anxiety fades away at his obvious eagerness, and my sympathy from earlier when I first heard about his injury comes rushing back. Whoever this person is, however strange he may seem, it's clear he used to be a vassal like us, and he shares the same love for adventuring and dungeon raiding that we do. Great, so this is a glorified escort mission. How long has this guy been retired again? Teddy! Just speaking the truth. We're all thinking it anyway. Next to me, Lyle hides a smirk at Teddy's blunt remarks, and I'm grateful that not only Lyle, Iveria, and I share the magic link to Teddy and are able to And I'm grateful that only Lyle, Iveria, and I share the magic link to Teddy and are able to understand her words. Teddy, be nice. To be fair, Teddy isn't wrong. Kylan cocks his head at our exchange, his gaze flickering between Teddy and me with a curious, almost hungry glint in his eyes. Interesting. Unnerved by his intense stare, I gesture towards the open gate, clearing my throat. Shall we? Right. Yes, of course. I'll go first. The four of you stay behind me. Like I need your protecting. This kind of dungeon is a piece of cake for me. Before I can react, Teddy has darted forward and into the dungeon, and I can only let out an exasperated chuckle before running in after her. Ooh, we're in the mines of Moria. No, not really. Following the sound of Teddy's growls, we soon come to a relatively clear area where a few abandoned minecarts still remain. Where did that bear go? I swear, Aliya, if you change your mind and want to sell her to a circus, I can help you. Incoming! My gaze flies to the opening of a tunnel just in time to see Teddy bounding towards us on all fours, leading what appears to be a pack of corrupted boars. Mother of souls! Seriously, Teddy? I can hear Teddy's mischievous laughter above the thundering of the boars as they approach. Averia and I shift into a battle stance, lifting our weapons to prepare for combat. Next to me, Kylan slides his dagger out of its hiding place, while Lyle mumbles quietly as they cast protective enchantments on us. Lyle, get ready! On it. A second later, the first half of the pack of boars erupts into flames while fire continues to rain down from the ceiling. Confused and enraged by the attack, he used fireball. They. Sorry. I keep misgendering him. Them. Ugh. Staggering and bumping into each other. Using the opening that Lyle's spell has given us, we charge towards the boars, slashing and deflecting blows with our swords. You know what would have been really cool for the game design? If they had had us actually fight these RPG fights in like a little Final Fantasy 4-esque fight sequence. It would have been so cool and very immersive. Teddy also joins the fight, swiping left and right with her paws, occasionally letting out growls of satisfaction when she manages to take down an enemy. With adrenaline pumping through my veins and my deafening heartbeat pounding in my ear, I throw myself deeper into the battle, barely feeling the pain when a boar manages to draw blood with its tusks. With Lyle, Averia, and I chaining combination skills one after another, the enemies fall one by one, disappearing into a puff of smoke, until there are only a handful of the toughest ones left. I'm so focused on the creature in front of me that I almost didn't notice a stray boar creeping up on Kylan, who is doubled over in the back, trying to catch his breath. Kylan, look out! I try to disentangle from my battle, but the boar refuses to give up, rewarding my distraction with a long, angry scratch down my leg. I stumble back in pain, and a quick glance around confirms that everyone else is also locked in combat, unable to go to Kylan's rescue. Kylan! Finally hearing my warning shout, he lifts his head and turns around, just in time to see the boar about to launch an attack at him. Ooh. Boy's about to die. He did. You know he did. I can only watch in horror as the boar begins to charge, and Kylan rolls nimbly to the side. Half-heartedly deflecting and avoiding the attacks of the boar in front of me, I continue to watch with growing surprise and respect as Kylan almost casually sidesteps the boar's attacks one by one. In a swift movement, Kylan suddenly darts behind the boar, and with one stab, the creature returns to a puff of smoke, waiting to revive in a few hours when it gathers enough essence again. The boar I've been fighting collapsed to the ground with a squeal, and I look to the side to see Lyle casting a fireball in my direction, having finished taking care of the rest of the creatures in the room. Thanks, Lyle. Not like you to get distracted in battle. Brushing off the dirt on my armor, I gratefully hold out my leg as Lyle casts healing spells over my wounds. I thought Kylan was in trouble, wanted to go to him to help. I'm fine. I might be retired, but I still remember a few things. I turn to look at Kylan, who looks slightly ruffled, but none the worse for the wear. That was pretty impressive. Very clean fight. Kylan smiles, returning his dagger to its hiding place. I got lucky. The attack patterns of these boars are still the same. If they had changed, I wouldn't have been able to predict the moves, and I'd definitely be in trouble. Attack patterns? Kylan shrugs, a small smile still lingering on his lips. Everyone has an attack pattern, including the corrupted creatures. You just have to analyze it to know how to use it against them. Okay, so I will admit, I got a little bit spoiled while looking up screenshots for this particular game. And I'm not going to spoil you guys because I think that it's a great reveal. But just keep in mind when you hear things like this. Huh, is that so? Despite not fully believing his words, since I don't think I've ever developed a pattern to my attacking moves... Oh, crack. Kylan must have been a good vassal. Pity he got injured and had to retire early. Airis could have used a strong soldier like him. Did you get the ingredient you need for the boar? Yes, I just need a sample from the wolves next. He plucks out a peculiarly shaped glass bottle and swirls the red liquid in it around. I make a face at the blood, and Kylan laughs while pocketing the bottle again. You're a warrior, yet you have that reaction to a bit of blood in a bottle? It's blood in a bottle. That's very different. Don't listen to her. She's squeamish. You should see the way she squeezes her eyes shut and turns the other way whenever Lyle's tending to my wounds. That's not true. Oh, yeah? So you're tilting your body as far away from Kylan right now has absolutely nothing to do with the bottle of blood in his hand. Yes, definitely. Averia rolls her eyes with a giggle, and even Kylan chortles to himself, much to my embarrassment. You're fooling no one, Aliya. The sound of someone clearing their throat interrupts us, and I look up to see Lyle tipping their head towards a different tunnel, having just finished healing Teddy's wounds. We should probably move on if we want to clear this dungeon before they revive. I don't want to deal with these again on our way out. Grinning in excitement, Averia can hardly keep herself from bouncing on the balls of her feet, stroking her beloved weapon. I wouldn't mind. I love Averia. She's so battle ready. Lyle doesn't even bother to reply, merely shaking their head with a laugh and heading for the next tunnel. We continue going deeper and deeper into the mines, almost getting lost a couple of times thanks to the almost identical tunnels and rooms. Eventually, we decide to take a small break and replenish our energy, and for Lyle to perform more healing spells on us, and we settle in a small corner of a room nibbling at our bread. Surprisingly, instead of the chatty Averia, Lyle is the one who speaks up first, and perhaps even more surprisingly, their words are directed at Kylan out of all of us. So, Kylan was it? Aliya said you're a retired vassal? Yeah, shoulder injury. I can't really fight like I used to. Where do you come from? What do you mean? I know you aren't from around here. Where did you live before moving to this town? Realizing Lyle's intention to interrogate Kylan, I nudge them in the side, giving a discreet shake of my head, but they just give me an innocent smile. I came from somewhere far away. You wouldn't have heard of it. Really? You should mention it anyway. I read a lot of ancient and foreign scrolls while studying magic, so I might have heard of it. Well, it's in a different language. He mumbles a word with an obscene amount of syllables, and I have to stifle a giggle at Lyle's expression. You're right. Never heard of it. Yeah, I thought that'd be the case. Silence falls over us, somewhat awkward and uncomfortable, but after a moment, Lyle speaks again, a determined glint in his eyes. Why did you come here, then, if your hometown is so far away? Kylan hesitates, and I quickly swallow the food in my mouth before turning to him in curiosity. I'd like to know, too. Did you come here alone? Why would you make such an arduous journey to a faraway land on your own? Kylan meets my eyes for a brief moment before looking away. Well, I'm an innovator, you see. They call me a scientist. I believe in new ideas, new creations, and new theories. I wanted to explore the unknown, go further than anyone else has. I succeeded and ended up here. Fascinated, I lean closer, propping my chin up on my hand. I pretend not to notice the way Lyle has narrowed their eyes in suspicion, staring at Kylan as though they can read his mind through sheer willpower alone. Mother of souls, that's incredible! Must have taken a lot of faith and determination. Did you just accidentally blow up a city with your new creations and end up here while on the run from the authorities? Kylan chuckles at Averia's remark, shaking his head. Nothing as exciting as that, unfortunately. It was a spur-of-the-moment decision. I just packed up everything and decided to leave. Really? Averia's lips curl up into a mischievous smile, and she winks at me before replying to Kylan. Guess you're an impulsive idiot like Aliya, and here I thought you're the only one here with a brain. Hey! I toss my bag at Averia, who catches it deftly with a laugh, before turning back to Kylan with a smile. That sounds like quite an adventure. Did you leave anyone behind? Ooh, no, Aliya, we are not going after him. We're going after Lyle. Look at their face. Look at their face. They're so sad that we're talking to Kylan about this stuff. Kylan hesitates again, but then gives a small shake of his head. I see. But do you still miss it, your homeland? Kylan pauses, his lower lip disappearing between his teeth, a surprisingly uncertain gesture from the usually self-assured man. Yes, I do. I want to go home one day. I'm actually working on a way to get back. Really? Why? Don't you like it here? And you said you didn't leave anyone behind, right? I... I don't know. It's my home. I see. I ducked my head, suddenly recalling the homesickness I used to feel when I was a fresh recruit, despite knowing full well that I can never return to my village. Right. I can understand that. Sensing the change in my mood, Lyle hurriedly chimes in with a falsely positive tone, attempting to distract me from the turn my thoughts have taken. Well, I think it's a waste of time to dwell in the past. We've all given ourselves to the country to serve as vassals. We all have nothing to lose, no one to lose, or else we wouldn't be accepted as a vassal in the first place. We should look ahead to the bright future we have, not our past. Airis seems oblivious to what Lyle is doing and pipes up with her own remark, causing Lyle to glare at her in exasperation for not coming to their aid. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, I guess. Question. I know Lyle is just trying to cheer me up, but it's impossible to forget about our past. I don't want to think about this. Maybe Lyle's right. We're trying to aim for Lyle's, so we're going to go maybe Lyle's right. There's no point thinking about the past. The past is the past. Even if I wanted to, I could never go back to my village. There is nothing left for me to return to. Yes. Of course. Silence falls over us, and I duck my head, taking another bite from my sandwich. Aw, look, Lyle's all sad. Oh, I love their eyes. Without a word, Teddy inches closer to me and rests her paw on my lap. I grin at her silent attempt to comfort me, before scrambling to my feet with a smile, patting myself to get rid of the dust. Well, I'm done eating. Come on, we should go. No time to waste. I can feel Lyle's concerned stare burning into my back, and I slide them a reassuring look with a small shake of my head to dispel their worries. All right, then, let's go. Of course. I've almost got everything I need for the potions. Want me to lure the creatures to you again? No! For soul's sake, Teddy! You almost got us killed earlier. Teddy merely gives a growly chuckle before running off towards the nearest tunnel, completely ignoring my words. Teddy! If you don't get back here right now, I swear you'll get no honey for a week. Teddy! I can only chase after her with an exasperated laugh, both Kylan and Lyle following close behind. Ooh, looks like we got out of the dungeon. Alright. Stretching my arms above my head, I tip my face towards the sun, closing my eyes to bask in the warm, soothing sunlight. With any luck, Kylan should contact me today or tomorrow, telling me to go pick up the finished potion, which will hopefully ease my symptoms and reduce the frequency of the blackouts. Thanks to the newfound hope Kylan has given me, I'm in a good mood today, even humming under my breath as I make my way towards the guild hall to meet up with Averia and Ridrie for our dungeon run. I wonder what we'll get today. I really need more gold. A sudden tap on my shoulder causes me to almost jump out of my skin. They keep doing that to us. And I turn around with my hand over my heart to see Lyle standing in front of me, hands behind their back. Oh, hey! Don't hey me. Why haven't you been replying to my messages? I know you're busy because of exams, but it's not an excuse to ignore me. Huh? What are you talking about? What messages? Baffled, I can only blink my eyes at them in confusion. Lyle's gaze darts to the top of my head, and then their cheeks flush a bright red. Before I can react, Lyle scurries away without another word, all the while mumbling something under their breath to themselves. What in the world was that? Has Lyle been drinking? This early in the morning? Glug, glug, glug. Cuties into the boozy. I stare after Lyle, shaking my head in bewilderment. That was really weird. I agree. Part of me wants to chase after them to demand an explanation, but I have a more urgent matter to attend to. With one last confused glance at Lyle's retreating back, I continue onwards to the guild hall, excited to begin the day with a trip to the dungeons. Good run today, Aliya. We should party again tomorrow. Those rewards were pretty good for a simple dungeon run. Definitely. If only quests like that would turn up every day. I slam my drink down, feeling the alcohol burn my throat as it trickles its way down to my stomach. Okay, so she's at least 21. That's good. I'm glad. You know what? Drink's on me tonight. I'm feeling rich after the quest reward. Averia barks out a laugh at my declaration before letting out a cheer, immediately heading to the counter to order more drinks. Someone's feeling generous tonight. Do I get free drinks too? Lyle slides into the seat where Averia was just occupying, and I grin at them, shouting a greeting. Lyle! There you are! I've been wondering where you've disappeared to. Just been around and about. My brows furrow at Lyle's vague answer and shifty eyes. This again? Right. Well, what was up with you this morning? This morning? Did you forget already? At Lyle's blank look, I roll my eyes before explaining. You stopped me while I was on my way to the guild hall and started scolding me for not replying to your messages because I'm busy with exams. Something weird like that, before you rushed off without a word. What messages? What exams? I'm not a scholar, you know that. Were you drunk or something? What did you just say? What? What did you just say, Aliya? Can you repeat what you just told me? There's a strange, sudden stillness to Lyle's body, as though all their muscles are tensed in preparation for battle. Lyle repeats their question, their voice growing more and more urgent. Confused, I do as they requested, watching as Lyle's eyes widen before they try to school their face into a composed mask. Lyle, what's going on? No, it's nothing. I just misheard you, that's all. Narrowing my eyes, I fixate the most intimidating glare I can manage on Lyle. Gee. It's not nothing. You wouldn't have reacted like that to nothing. I think you owe me an explanation. I don't know what you're talking about. They look away, but not before I can see the telling glint in their eyes. Lyle's lying for sure. Lyle stays quiet, their gaze lowered. The silence drags on, the tension so palpable that it's almost smothering. My frustration continues to grow, and it takes a great deal of effort for me to swallow my angry words, knowing it'd do nothing but make the situation worse. Am I interrupting? I glare at Lyle for a beat longer before lifting my eyes to greet Kylan. No, it's nothing. Just having a little chat with my best friend. Kylan raises an eyebrow at my icy tone, but he doesn't comment and just takes the seat next to mine. I heard you're giving free drinks tonight. You don't mind me taking you up on that offer, do you? Kylan flashes me a sunny smile, and I chortle, shaking my head at him. We are flirting. Why are we flirting? Why are we flirting? I don't want to flirt with this guy. I want to flirt with Lyle. More importantly, I want to figure out why Lyle was talking like that. I have a theory, I do, but I don't want to spoil it in case that I'm right. Hey, I didn't offer you free drinks, just Averia. Ouch, are we not comrades too? Nope, we only fought together once or twice. You don't deserve that title yet. Kylan bursts out laughing, shooting me a mock-wounded look. Then never mind. I suppose I won't tell you about my research progress then. All humor immediately drains away, and I lean forward, eager to hear Kylan's report. What is it? Did you find anything? Kylan shakes his head, an apologetic look on his face, then digs out a small bottle and slides it over to me. What's this? You finished the potion? Yes, drink it. A flash of humor crosses his face, and he winks. And promise it's not going to kill you. That sounds shady. That sounds so shady. Will it cure the problem? No, unfortunately not. At best, this will just lessen the frequency of your symptoms. I swirl the clear liquid in the bottle around, slightly hesitant to drink some unknown potion. Aliya, let me drink it. If it works, tell him to make you another. Lyle holds out their hand with an anxious glance at the bottle. Kylan lets out a sigh, a small scowl on his face. Do you really think I'd poison her? Lyle doesn't speak, merely pressing their lips together tightly and gesturing for me to give them the potion. What I find funny here is they talk about how Lyle is pressing their lips together, and the sprite over here has a open mouth. Oh, now Lyle wants to act like my best friend who has my best interests at heart. Shooting a defiant glance to Lyle, I pluck out the stopper of the bottle and down it in one go. That is a good way to get our asses killed. I had been expecting the potion to taste as sickening as some of the medicine I'd been forced to take by the medics after battle, but to my surprise, the liquid is completely tasteless and rolls down my throat easily. Aliya, damn it, why would... The rest of Lyle's words are drowned out by a sudden loud voice rising above the chatter in the guild hall, and we all whirl around to see a disheveled hunter leaning against the open doors, desperately yelling a warning. "They're coming! Corrupted creatures, a lot of them, heading towards town from the south!" A hush falls over the hall for a moment before chaos ensues, everyone scrambling for their weapons and screaming out instructions to their party members. Lyle and I are instantly on our feet, and I turn to Lyle and Kylan grimly. "We need to go help. You two with me?" It was mostly a meaningless question, as Lyle had always been my partner in crises like this, while I doubt Kylan would sit this battle out despite being retired. Yet, to my utmost surprise, Lyle shakes their head, a troubled look on their face. "You go ahead without me. I'm going to try and get more backup soldiers and supplies." Annoyance flares up within me, and I cross my arms in anger. "Seriously? You should be with me on the front lines, like we always are." Lyle looks pained, but they only give me an apologetic, almost hopeless look. "You don't understand. This is important, Aliya. I'll be there as soon as possible." Before I can protest further, Lyle has already spun on their heels and darted towards the doors, weaving in and out of the crowd. Taking a deep breath to steady myself, I turn my attention to Kylan, who has been frantically flipping through a pile of scrolls from his bag. "Kylan, shall we go?" "Go on without me. I need to find... I don't understand... What are you talking about?" Kylan mumbles under his breath and continues looking at his scrolls, appearing not to even hear my question. "Kylan, come on!" He doesn't reply. Eyeing all the vassals, armed to the teeth, flooding out of the guild hall and rushing towards the town border, I let out a frustrated growl. "Damn it! Suit yourself! I'm going to the front lines." Pulling my sword from its sheath, I joined the rest of the soldiers, rushing out of the guild hall without a second glance backwards. Okay, we're going to go ahead and save here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, because it's been a half an hour, so I want to get this up before too much. And basically, so far, what I understand of what's going on, and I can't really talk about it too much without spoiling you guys. I'm hoping they reveal this pretty soon. But it sounds to me like there's someone else inhabiting Lyle's body when Lyle doesn't remember what's going on, which makes me wonder if there's someone else inhabiting Aliya's body when she doesn't remember what's going on, which would make sense if what I think is going on is going on. And I know that sounds vague as hell and just kind of awful, but that's kind of what I'm hoping is gonna happen. Also, poor Lyle. I feel so bad for them. They seem to be really struggling with this situation, and instead of taking comfort in the fact that Aliya is suffering from it too, and they can share in their suffering, they're holding themselves off, and it makes me so sad, because I just want to give them a giant hug. And hopefully I will get down that they are they and not him. But yeah. Well, alright, my fairy folk, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go for the night. Thank you so much for joining me, and you have a great afternoon.